Okay, so this time our topic is HR metrics, HR metrics, analytics, and evidence-based public management. Human resource management in public sector can no longer rely purely on experience, intuition, or tradition, especially when government agencies are expected to deliver results under limited budgets, strict rules, and strong public scrutiny. This is why HR metrics and analytics matter that help us translate HR activities into measurable performance. So leadership can make decisions that are defensible, transparent, and aligned with public value. In government, HR decisions are often questioned by auditors, oversight bodies, and even citizens. When we use evidence like turnover rate, time to fill, delivery outcomes, no, training effectiveness, no, absenteeism, employee engagement, we strengthen accountability. Because, again, evidence-based public management means we do not just do HR, we show how HR improves efficiency, responsiveness, integrity, and citizen satisfaction. So today's topic is practical. We will look at how agencies can create meaningful dashboard, interpret HR data responsibility, and avoid common traps like collecting data without a decision purpose. Sayang. So the goal is to use analytics not as just fancy add-on, but as daily management tool that support better hiring, training, workforce planning, and performance improvement. At this point, I will give the floor to our presenter who will discuss the key HR metrics used in public agencies, introduce basic HR analytics approaches, and show how evidence-based decision-making can improve both workforce outcomes and service delivery. Okay, so if you have some question again, please type in our Zoom chat as we go, and we will address them after the presentation. Okay, please play the video.
Good morning po. Good morning everyone, classmates, prof. My name is Marices Aquino and my report is about HR
Pwedeng
metrics,
palakasan pa ng
analytics,
konti.
and evidence-based public management and HR technology, e-governance, and information systems in government. So first, let us define what is HR metrics. HR metrics or human resource metrics are measurements used to determine the value and effectiveness of human resources initiatives. Its purpose is to help evaluate performance, identify gaps, and make data-driven decisions. For example, the common areas for measurements include turnover, training, return on human capital, cost of labor, and expenses per employee. So, sinasabi dito na yung HR metrics is the quantitative measures na ginagamit para i-track or i-assess yung efficiency and effectiveness ng human resource management. Sa tulong ng mga data-driven insights, mas madaling na-optimize ng mga organization or ng company yung workforce nila. Mas napapaganda yung retention and mas na-i-align yung mga HR strategies sa goal ng organization. Why do we need HR metrics? First is to measure performance. Dito, sinusukat kung performing ba yung employees. For example, sa amin, sa bureau namin, sa public assistance, sinusukat dito yung efficiency sa pag-handle ng request for assistance. Kailangan makita kung mabilis ba yung action ng mga officer dun sa pag-assist dun sa tao na humihingi ng tulong. Second is to identify areas for improvement. Dahil mayroong metrics, mas madali nang nakikita kung saan tayo nagkukulang or kung nagkakaroon ba ng bottleneck. For example, kung mataas yung turnover rate sa isang specific department, sign yun na kailangang i-review ng management yung style or yung working environment dun sa specific na department na yun. Third is to ensure compliance. Kasi mahalaga yung data para masiguro na sumusunod yung company sa labor laws and regulation. And ginagamit yung metrics para matrack yung mga safety records, diversity statistics, and yung iba pang legal requirements para makaiwas na magkaroon ng penalty. And number 4, evaluate the effectiveness of HR initiatives. Kapag nag-implement yung HR ng bagong training program o kaya wellness initiative, kailangan nating malaman, nag-work ba to? Sa pamamagitan ng metrics, malalaman natin kung worth it ba yung investment or kailangan i-adjust natin yung strategy. For example, sa bureau namin, meron kaming mga corruption prevention uh, activity. Kapag ka nagkukonda kami ng anti-corruption seminars, paano namin ba malalaman na effective to? Siyempre, sinusukat yon siya sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay namin ng feedback dun sa ah, mga tao na binigyan namin ng seminar. Last is benchmark against industry standards. Hindi enough na alam lang natin yung internal performance natin. Kailangan din nating i-compare yung mga data sa standard ng ibang company na kaparehas nung sa atin. So, dito malalaman natin kung competitive pa ba tayo pagdating sa uh, sahod, benefits, employee retention. Next is yung top 5 HR metrics used by organizations. Number 1 is employee turnover rate. Isa-sample ko dito yung kunyari sa office. Yung employee turnover rate, gano'n nga ba kadalas na may nagre-resign? Kasi importante yung continuity of service, lalo na para doon sa mga officers na may hawak ng mga corruption cases. Number 2, time to fill. Gano'n ba katagal bago mapunuan yung vacant position? Kasi yung delay na to, delay din siya sa public service. And number 3, yung cost per hire. Dito yung pagsusuri kung nagagamit ba ng tama yung pondo ng government pagdating sa pagre-recruit. Number 4, absenteeism rate. Yung madalas na pag-absent, pwede siyang maging reason ng backlog eh. Kasi kulang sa staff, ganun. And number 5, employee engagement. Ito yung pagiging committed ng staff. Syempre, una, para hindi sila madaling matukso pagdating sa corruption. Ano naman yung HR analytics? HR analytics is the systematic gathering, structuring, and examination of extensive employee-centric datasets with the aim of discerning recurring patterns, emerging trends, and interrelationships. Kung yung metrics ay ano yung nangyari, yung analytics naman, bakit ito nangyari, at ano yung pwedeng mangyari sa future. It is more about patterns and trends. So, why do we need HR analytics? Ginagamit natin to para ma-improve yung recruitment, para malaman natin kung anong klase ng mga candidates yung magtatagal sa atin. And to enhance performance, mas mapipinpoint natin kung ano yung specific training yung kailangan para mas mapabilis yung trabaho. And yung workforce planning, ito naman yung prediction. Kailangan ba natin na magdagdag ng tao next year? Align strategies with goals. Dito sinisiguro na yung bawat move na ginagawa is favor dun sa mandate ng office. Kunyari, yung sa ombudsman, yung mandato nito is anti-corruption. Naka-align pa ba yung ginagawa nito dito? And last is to increase efficiency para maiiwasan yung pagsasayang ng oras tsaka yung budget na nakalaan doon. So, ano nga ba yung pinagkaiba ng metrics and analytics? Yung metrics, yun yung data points or yung numbers. While yung analytics naman is the process ng pag-intindi dun sa data na yun para makagawa tayo ng strategic decision. Isipin na lang natin, kunyari, yung metrics, yun yung thermometer. 'Di ba kapag ginamit natin yung thermometer, ito yung mag indicate na may fever ka. Pero yung analytics naman, yan yung doktor. Siya yung magsasabi bakit ka nilagnat o kaya anong gamot yung dapat mong inumin. So, kahit na magkaiba sila, kailangan natin ng parehong metrics and analytics para maging data-driven yung HR. Hindi tayo pwedeng umasa lang sa gut feeling o kaya sa kutob. Kasi kapag may data tayo, mas magagampanan natin ng mabuti yung responsibilities natin. Let's move on to the second topic, which is yung HR tech.
Okay, pa-stop muna. Okay, so HR metrics are the numbers that describe, no, okay, that describe what is happening in the workforce. While HR analytics explain why it is happening and what to do next. No? Let's say, for example, a high time turnover rate in a local government office is a metric. No? An analytics investigate drivers such as low supervision quality, unclear promotion paths, or poor workload distribution. Then recommends targeted solutions. So, a useful public service example is monitoring absenteeism in frontline offices such as licensing or social welfare. If absenteeism spikes every Monday, no, leadership can analyze scheduling patterns, no, commute issues, health trends, or moral concern. So, a responsive action may include staggered schedules, reduces after the intervention. Another example is time to fill vacancies in positions like nurses, IT staff, or disasters response personnel. If hiring takes too long, citizens experience delays in services. No, so analytics can identify bottlenecks. The example is slow approvals, incomplete documents, limited applicant pools. No, and this proposed process change like standardized templates, no, faster screening or stronger partnership with universities. Evidence-based HR also strengthen training and development instead of reporting. We train 200 employees. Agencies should measure learning outcomes and on-the-job results, no, such as improved processing time, reduced errors, or better client satisfactions. For instance, no, after training on records management, the office can track a decrease in lost file or faster retrieval times. In performance management metrics, no, metrics can link individual performance to organizational results. A public hospital, let's say for example, may measure staff punctuality, no, patient waiting time, and patient satisfaction. If waiting time remains high, analytics might reveal staffing mismatches by shift, no, prompting better roster planning rather than blaming employees unfairly. However, HR data must be used ethically. So analytics can unintentionally create bias if data is incomplete or interpreted without context. Let's say, for example, labeling certain units as low performance without considering their heavier workload or more complex clientele can harm morale. So good human resource analytics always include context validation and clear policy safeguard. Another key point is that dashboard should be decision-driven. Agencies should not collect dozens of indicators if leaders do not know how to act on them. A better approach is to identify priority questions like why are we losing young professionals or which training improves frontline service speed, then select the right metrics. So, evidence-based HR support credibility and reform. When HR recommendations are backed by data, agency can justify budget requests, staffing increases, or policy revisions. In public administration, this is not just about efficiency, no? It is about trust because transparent and evidence-based HR decisions are easier to explain to employees, auditors, and the citizen.